I think that is the greenest flag there is. Being kind and being understanding. And for me, love is just being comfortable with whomever you are. Then you're just yourself, and the person accepts you for who you are. Gosh.
And have you ever found a love like that?
In present, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
कितनी खुश हो गई? No, मतलब wait, no. Wait, no. You know, I was 3 years old when I did my first ad. These girls come and tell me that you broke our heart because we had a crush on that boy. I was very much like aware of the fact that I'm playing a boy and I'm actually a girl, so that it doesn't affect me or my mental health. I remember we had these little moments of me writing letters to him on set. Like I
So
used to
cute.
draw
Yeah.
like cute cards, greeting cards for him and give it to him.
Was Kota Factory a turning point?
I think it was. Okay, I'll tell you how Kota happened.
So there was this recent speculation about you and Taro.
When Taruk and I we were trending, and people were like, the reason I use social media is because as an actor, I feel like it's my bio data. If I put up a dance video, it's to show them that I can dance also. If I put a lip sync video, it's to show them that I can lip sync to a song. You can't earn money as an actor. If you're an actor, you have to do brand deals, you have to do endorsements to make money.
Why do you say as an actor you don't make money?
I
So do you feel the pressure to keep creating content that goes viral?
wouldn't call it pressure, but yes, there is a liability. Oh, you've not heard? Vartaman aankhon ki jo- No?
वर्तमान आंखों का धोखा.
Let me frame this very well because I might get into trouble for saying this. If I say any random person buys a mic and a camera and they are having a conversation which is not making sense, it's not a podcast.
One Bollywood movie you'd love to remake with you in the lead.
Jab we met. If I say it, somebody will steal this. I have a full sequel story.
Welcome to Humans Bombay SRs.
I'm very, very happy to be here, Karishma, because I am a big Humans of Bombay fan, and it was my sapna to be to have my photo on one of one of the posts and have my entire story on it. So I'm just like sitting with you and doing this.
I'm
interview. It's
so
just very
happy and I love your name. Do you get that a lot? That you have a very beautiful, very
do.
different name.
Touch wood.
You do,
I
right?
I do
Yeah.
get that a lot.
Okay, so now we are going to start by addressing the biggest controversy around you, which is conversation controversy, which is did you play the boy, the little boy in Kabhi Alvida Na Kehna? Yes or no?
Yes.
So then why are people like, no, how can it be?
It's because I played a boy and I'm a girl, so people get
But you're an
quite
actor.
confused. Exactly.
Yeah.
So which is why, like, honestly, like the funniest thing that I get now that people. Firstly, it was always out there. It was
Yeah.
always revealed to people. It's just that not a lot of people knew about it.
Yeah.
Like only I think my audience or a very small part of the world, at least India, knew that okay, this boy is actually
A girl, yeah.
so even today, it's not completely revealed to a lot of people. Like not a lot of people know it. So it's like a revelation. Every financial year,
Yeah.
there is a post about how. In fact, like during Ganesh Chaturthi, actually,
Yeah.
I trend again because my friend Ganesh
Ganesh,
also
yeah.
happened, and that is when people realize ki this Ashu is actually a girl.
Yeah.
And the funniest thing, what I was trying to say is that I get so many comments and DMs saying that you broke our heart. These girls come and tell me
Oh.
that you broke our heart because we had a crush on you. We had a crush on that boy. So it's just so funny, but it's also so like flattering at the same
But you can
time.
totally see it, when you have baby face and then you grow up, but you can tell that it's the same person. Like
Yeah.
you can tell, That's so cute. But how was that entire process of being a child artist? And, at that point, did everybody know that you're playing this character in Kabhi Alvida Na Kehna and you're like school, immediate circle, etc.?
100%.
Okay.
Everybody
Okay.
knew. In fact, like the entire crew, the directors. In fact, like I'll tell you how Vastu Shastra also happened. It was my first film,
Yeah.
which was as a boy. I was 4 years old when I auditioned for that film, and the director, his name is Saurabh Naran, who passed
Yeah.
actually quite after a few years only after the film released. But he was he loved my audition and he was very keen on casting me. So but he knew that I'm a girl because I auditioned like a girl, and he was like, but you know what, we need a boy for the part. And the entire story is about a boy, and it's going to be very difficult to change it to a girl, but we really need Ehsas to play this. So they requested my mother and proposed this idea that if it could play a boy. And I think I was 4 years old, so my mother did not have that much of an objection. She's like, kya hi ho jayega. So we were like, okay. And I was very much like aware of the fact that I'm playing, and this is a character, I'm an actor, I'm playing a boy and I'm actually a girl, so that it doesn't affect me or my mental health or whatever, as you know,
While you grow
while I
up,
grow
yeah.
up. So that was really taken care of.
But how did this happen at 4? Like that's so tiny. Like you're barely a human being and you're making these differentiations and like getting work essentially at the age of 4.
You know, I was 3 years old when I did my first ad. So
That's insane.
So I was honestly, like, I think I was a very active, very cute looking child, and I knew like a 3-4 year old knowing dialogues to a film like Sholay, knowing all the Gabbar Singh dialogues. So that is a little extraordinary, which is what my mother noticed. And my mother had a casting director as a friend. So she was like, you know, we should like try or like get her to do auditions. There's no harm.
Yeah.
So that is how I gave a lot of auditions for ads. I initially started as ads. I initially started with ads and then happened to audition for Vastu Shastra. So that's how it happened.
And everybody knew in your school, your teachers.
Yeah.
So what was the experience when you went back to school as a girl?
I think I really don't remember because this is
like when you were very
4 or 5
tiny.
years old. But what I remember is that I used to get a lot of attention. I was the center of attraction all the time in school, and I loved it. I which is why, like, even today, I think the reason I love attention is because I've gotten it.
Your whole life.
My whole life.
Yeah.
But I think it phased out after a couple of years because my friends and everybody at school just got used to it.
Of course.
So they were like, हाँ ठीक है actor, तो क्या हुआ? So, but I think it was, my teachers were very supportive. My entire school was very supportive. My friends, everybody was very understanding, very supportive. They loved my work. They used to watch my films. I remember I got nominated for an award, and it was voting based. So I remember distributing a chit to people and asking them to vote for me, and they did, and I think I won that award. So I mean, everybody was very supportive. So I think that attention and that support was very important throughout this journey, because had I not gotten that support, I don't think I would have continued being an actor. Like, I feel like that is very important. Like, when your teachers are encouraging you to do what you're doing and not shaming you or not being
not looking down upon it also.
Looking down upon you, whatever. I think it plays a very big role in so they've played a very big role in my career.
And how many times have you been asked about the experience with Shah Rukh Khan?
A lot of times.
Yeah, I can imagine.
In fact, like, the crazy Shah Rukh Khan fans come to me and like strike a conversation just about it. But I always end up telling them that I think it was one of the best experiences of my life, because he's the most humble man.
It has to be.
Yeah,
and
I think he was already. I think when Kabhi Alvida Na Kehna happened, he was the biggest superstar. He still is, but at that time he was again like at his peak and everything, and he was just so humble, so hardworking. And I remember we had these little moments of me writing letters to him on set. Like,
So
I used to
cute.
draw like cute cards, greeting cards for him and give it to him. And he was the one who started clapping for me after a shot that I gave, which was a slightly difficult one. That didn't make it to the film, but there was this football scene that I had to do, and it was a little challenging for me, and he was the one who clapped for me and everybody followed.
Okay, so let's talk
yeah.
about the scene that never made it.
Oh, it was, I don't remember what the scene was, but it was very physically challenging because I don't know how to play football and my character had to play football. So it was sort of like a skit that I had to do and stand up and say a line, which I think I did. It took a couple of takes, but that happened. So I think there was a lot of appreciation to that. I don't know why I didn't make it to the film, but it was
It is what it is. You
Yeah,
still were in the
just-
film.
yes.
How old were you at that point?
6. I
Oh
was
my
6 years
God.
old.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
And you still remember it like it was yesterday?
No.
You don't.
To be honest, I don't. I feel like it's been ages since I did that film. It has been ages,
Yeah.
but I have really vague memories from that time. But I have only good memories. I remember spending 2 months in New York with my mother, and with like some legendary actors, like not just Shah Rukh Khan,
Yeah.
like Preeti Zinta, Rani Mukherjee. There was Abhishek Bachchan, there was Amitabh Bachchan.
Yeah.
Never got a chance to share screen space with Mr. Amitabh Bachchan, but I met him. We were in the same hotel, so yeah, it was great. It was a great experience.
And have you met these actors these years later? And do you have like a, oh, you're that kid, who's
Can I
not a kid. Ooh, yeah.
Can I just tell you that very recently, I think this was last week, I went to an award function where Abhishek Bachchan was also present, and luckily I was on the same row somewhere, and I was contemplating. I'm thinking, should I go say hi to him? Will he remember me? I'll have to remind him. It's going to be awkward. And I'm just sitting and I'm staring at him, and he's moving. He's speaking to a lot of people, and he turns around and he looks at me, and he comes with his arms wide open just to hug me, and he's like, "Ehsas, oh my God, you've grown up." And you have no idea how happy that has made me
Of course.
feel. Because like a minute ago I was just contemplating, thinking that will he remember me, but he did, and
Yeah.
he's such a humble person. And I think there's a video of it also, and I think it's out there, and he's just talking to me about how I've grown up into a very beautiful girl, and I'm rambling, okay, because I am a very awkward person, so like I don't know what to say.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you remember me? Oh my God, I love you so much. You're a great actor. I want to work with you again. This is nonsense I'm saying. And he's like, we will work together. So proud of you. You're doing great work. And it's just, when you are at that level,
Yeah.
when you're that big of an actor and you come and you make someone else feel so comfortable, I think that's the greatest thing that you can do. So I think the values that he has is just like fantastic, and I've been in an awe of him since then. So I'm happy that people remember me. But other than Abhishek Bachchan, I don't think I've met anyone else from Kabhi Alvida Na Kehna's cast. Yeah, let me think if I have. No, I haven't.
So after this entire acting, like, not a phase, but like, this chunk of work that you did very, very young, was there ever a contemplation about, should I become an actor? Will I continue this? Or like I did a stint as a child actor, which a lot of people do, by the way, and then it never translates into a full-time career, right?
Yeah,
There'll
yeah,
always
yeah.
be like that friend or that relative would say, I'd come in that ad
Yeah.
when I was really young. But was it ever a discussion or a contemplation in your mind along with your mother?
To be very honest, no, there was never a moment where she and I have sat. I mean, I was 18, and I remember she still gave me an option, and she asked me that, okay, this is a career path that was chosen for you, but now you're an adult, and is this something that you want to continue, or is this something else that you want to do? And I just went blank, and I was like, I don't know anything else. And I love this career so much, this profession so much. Like, I love acting. I think I'm the happiest when I'm on set. Like, anything else you make me do, I will be nervous, or I'll think about it. I was like, karna hai kya? Alas will come on, all of those things. But the moment I'm in front of the camera, acting, I think I'm the most comfortable and the most happiest. So when she asked me that question, I was like, no, I don't want to do anything else. This is all that I've thought of, and I have certain goals in life, and I want to achieve those, and that is what we're going to do. So this contemplation has never happened.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
To know so young, I think it's just such a bonus.
Yeah.
Like, I started this company when I was 21, and I think that I had an advantage. So I can't even imagine how it is to know from such a young age, this is what I'm meant to do. It's crazy.
No, you do have an advantage. That's like, I know there are people who at 21 also are still figuring out what to
Yeah.
do. But if you had that clarity,
Yeah.
I know what you mean. Like having that clarity
Yeah.
a little earlier in life is always better. Than,
And you know, the amount of conversations that we've had at Humans of Bombay, the number of people who at 40 sometimes don't have that
Yeah.
clarity. As like, what is it that I really want to do, or what is it that I'm good at?
yeah,
Or what you said, right? Like when I'm in front of a camera, I'm just happy. What makes you happy and it doesn't feel like work? Like
Yeah.
this to me doesn't feel like work. To everybody else, it seems like this is work. You're at work. And I'm like, I'm getting to have a conversation with a really interesting person, getting to know their life. It's not work to me.
Yeah.
But people don't get that,
right.
which is amazing. And how big of or a central role has your mother played throughout this journey, right? Of course she has, but just talk to me about that bond. Because you know what? It's also so important for parents to identify what their child is good at or what their skill set is. Like for example, when you were saying these dialogues, she picked up on it and said, let me steer her in that direction. Maybe it'll work out, and it's worked out. And how?
And thank God she did.
Yeah.
Like there are people who ask me that, are you okay with her choosing a career path for you? Like you would wanted to do something else, you were never given an opportunity. I'm like, thank God she did, because I have, and she identified that.
Yeah.
Now she identified the fact that I am very happy saying these dialogues, performing in front of the TV, and I am, something is there, no? Like I danced a lot, I was always very active. I would want to, anytime someone would come, like a guest would come home, I was the first one who would be like, wo dialogues bol ke sunau
How
aapko.
cute.
So she identified that.
Yeah.
She was like, okay, this is something she has an interest in at a very young age, so let's put her in it.
And that's amazing, because who better to know you than your parent?
Exactly.
Like, or a close family member
Yeah.
who can look at you and be like, oh, this is what it is.
Correct. And I feel like parents can be wrong at times, but they will never have a bad intention. This is actually a dialogue from Kota Factory. I'm stealing it.
Yeah.
This is a dialogue that Uday says. He says ki, I don't remember the exact dialogue, but he says ki माँ बाप के डिसीजंस गलत हो सकते हैं, बट उनके इंटेंशंस कभी गलत नहीं होंगे. So they, which made which made
made a lot of
mad
sense,
sense to me,
yeah.
because that's exactly how I feel, and I relate to that line, because my mom could have made a wrong decision, or
Yeah.
she could have been wrong at some point, but her intention was to make me happy, and
Correct.
her intention was always right, and that worked out very well for the both of us. But I think she plays, I think, the biggest and the most central part in my career. I think she's the one who's groomed me as an actor. She's the one who's groomed me as a professional. I've never been to an acting school. She's taught me all of it, and she was my manager for the longest time. She's raised she's I'm a single parent
Yeah.
child, so she's raised me and my sister alone, and she's done a fabulous job at it.
Clearly.
So yeah, like I think it's whatever, like I am today, which is nothing, but whatever little bit I am is because of her, and whatever I want to do in life is to make her proud and make her happy, and just give it back to her for everything that she's done for me.
So amazing. You know, Viraj was here yesterday, Viraj Kilani, and he said the same thing about his mother. He's like,
Yeah.
I just want to make her happy. I just want to give her the world. And he's like, because his entire journey, he's seen her really struggle, right? And he's like, that's the least that I can do for her. It's a common thread. But was it difficult to be in a family with a single parent, you, your sister, and your mom? Or was it something that you just grew into and said, okay, this is the way of life?
I think either I grew into it, or my mother didn't let me feel
Right.
the absence of a father, or made it difficult for me. I think she's the one, even if I didn't feel it was difficult or challenging, I think the entire credit goes to her, because she never made me. She just set an environment like that and an atmosphere like that for both me and my sister, that we weren't feeling uncomfortable at any point. She provided us with everything. Like even if I was, in fact, like she has a very big part in my career, even as a child when I was going to school, because even like she just made sure that I'm not missing out on anything that a child my age would do. Like I went to school, I never missed out on any school, any extracurricular activities, or I learned Kathak, I learned karate, I learned skating, I learned swimming, I learned horse riding also for some It didn't work out for
Yeah.
me, but matlab, she put me in all those things, and she like, even though I was working, so she was managing both these things. She was working herself, she was giving me all the attention, so she never made me feel like she's absent anywhere, or my dad is not there or whatever. And also I was very much in touch with my dad, still am. I meet him, I speak to him, he lives in the same city, so she also like set that environment for me to go and meet him anytime I wanted.
Yeah. Like there was no animosity, like, oh, it's like it's
never.
negative.
There was no negativity whatsoever.
Yeah, because you know, when people think of divorce or they think of their parents' separation, it's an extremely intimate subject because inevitably the two parties are at ends, right? It's never a coexisting, look, it didn't work out, let's kind of just still maintain that decorum and that sense of positivity, which is why I think that it kind of also shapes you to become more understanding of relationships as you evolve.
Yes.
So what has your understanding of relationships been because of the kind of learnings that you got in your life, right? Growing up from the very beginning of that, you can kind of be separated but still be happy or still be in a very positive space.
Yes, like I think pretty much what you said. I feel like it really depends on both the parties, how they want to make the child feel. Like if there is negativity from either party, no, I think it becomes very difficult for the other one. Like if one of them is trying to keep a positive attitude and a positive environment for the child, I'm speaking as a couple for the child. I don't know about other relationships, but I think it depends. Like both my parents have been very understanding and supportive like that. Both of them have created that positive energy for me and my sister. But in any other relationship, I think there are going to be so many difficulties, there are going to be so many obstacles where you'll have to, you feel like giving up, but it depends on how strong your relationship is and how much you want to save it.
Correct.
So if you don't want to save it, it's always going to end, and it's okay to let go also. I'm now talking about other relationships, like even friendships or anything. You can do so much to save a relationship, but if you feel like it's sinking and there's no support from the other side of the party, let it go. Don't try to push it as much, because I feel like, why do I keep doing this? It'll end badly only. Yeah.
And how have your friendships evolved in life, right? Because you've had this career since a very young age, and then obviously as you grow up, you have friends in school, then you have friends in college, then you have friends at work. But for you, it's a very blended situation because work already started happening while you were in school. So how have your friendships evolved?
I am still friends with my building friend from when I was 5 years old.
Wow.
She just got married, and I was her maid of honor or whatever, like her bridesmaid and everything. And that is when it hit me like, oh wow, if I want to be friends with someone from that long ago, I can do it. But she moved to like a different city when we both were 13 years old. Then she went to a different country only, but we still stayed in touch, and today we're still friends.
Wow.
So but speaking of like the industry and my friends right now, I don't have so many friends from the industry. I have colleagues.
Okay.
I have I'm good with people. Like I don't have enemies in the industry, or I don't have anyone who I have like
a tiff with,
or there's something weird, some weird energy in the room. That I luckily don't have with anyone. But I wouldn't call a lot of people in the industry my friends. Like I would hang out with out of work or out of set. There's this one girl called Revati Pillai who was in Kota Factory with me. She's stuck with me somehow, and she's like my best friend. She's also an actor, so I think she's probably one of the very few people I am friends with in the industry. I have friends in the industry, but very few.
Okay.
Other than that, I have friends from college who I met in college, and they're still they're my closest friends. I have a very close group of friends. They're called Full Chai, if people on my Instagram don't know yet. I don't know why the group's name is Full Chai, but it's there. So it's just easier for me to tell people I'm going to hang out with Full Chai instead of like taking all the names.
Yeah. But how come there's this kind of like when you said like I have colleagues and a few friends, you also have a lot of content creator colleagues, right? Like people who are in this industry outside of acting. How does it typically work? Like for me, for example, now I meet so many people, and sometimes you just really hit it off, and you actually end up becoming friends. And that's happened to me, especially over the past 3 to 4 years. And it's been an amazing experience because, with every phase in life, even people evolve, right? So, like, I went through a phase where a huge chunk of my friends were getting married and having kids, and I wasn't there. So, therefore, there was not a disconnect, but it's just a space where you want to hang out with people who are more in your path. They'll always remain, of course, but then as a result of that, there were new friendships being forged. So how does it work, or like what is your thought process, or is it just natural and just happens?
One, it is very natural.
Yeah.
There are times where I hit it off with a lot of people and we are like having great time there. But I think because of the nature of my work and how hectic and unpredictable my life is, my daily life is, I really don't get to continue that friendship.
To maintain it.
Maintaining a relationship and a friendship for me is the most difficult thing. Like the reason whoever is my friend today currently is because they have put in that effort. They have really they have chosen to stay. They have chosen to like have a conversation with me. They force me to meet me.
They force me to meet them.
So that is why I mean when I say that I have very less friends from the industries, because I will be friends with a certain actor on that set for those 20 days when I'm shooting with them, and once the project gets over, they are busy in their life and I get very busy in my life, so it becomes a little difficult to continue that relationship. That's the only reason that's the only reason that I say that I don't have friends in the industry.
Correct.
And just colleagues. And other than that, to be very honest, I think a very small part of me does not want friends from the industry, because one, I have grown up here and this is usually all I talk about. So I want people outside of the industry and very far away from my profession where I don't feel the need to speak to them about my work.
Yeah.
Or it's a different world. Like the Full Chai group that I mentioned, they don't talk to me about work. They are so oblivious of what I'm doing. And they're like, and it's so refreshing to not tell them what is going on, give them the details. I just upar se tell them what's happening, give them the small updates, like the bigger updates or whatever, and then we are talking about other stuff, which is what I need, because my mom is also an actor, so घर पे भी वही बात होती है. I'm surrounded with my team, so उनके साथ भी वही बात होती है. And then like there are friends from the industry, and naturally no matter how much we try to like shift the topic of the conversation, it ends up coming back to did you audition for that, or that film is being made, that person is doing so well, that person is not doing. So I don't mind having those conversations, but it's just better to have another set of people who you thoda sa
differentiate.
You differentiate your work and your personal life. So
Was Kota Factory a turning point?
I think it was. It could be, because uske pehle tak I was doing sketches, I was doing TV, I was doing Disney shows and stuff, and you know what? Kota Factory released first, but I had already shot for Hostel Days, is a show that I've done for Amazon Prime, and Girls Hostel. So I had already shot for them, but Kota released first. So it became my first web series, and it became a turning point. And uske baad these two shows released, and then I think I just those shows benefited because of Kota.
Correct.
So definitely Kota was a turning point as a digital actress, as a OTT actress. But I mean, I'm so grateful for that show. It is, honestly, none of us knew that it's going to blow up the way it did. And while we were shooting for it, I think, honestly, I had no idea what we're doing, because I'm an art student. I have no idea. I didn't even know. I always thought Kota is a city in Rajasthan, and I did not know that IIT का hub है,
Yeah.
coaching hub है.
Yeah.
मुझे नहीं पता था.
Yeah.
ठीक है. I was also 18, 19 years
Yeah.
old. I did not need to know. Okay, please don't come at me. So while we were shooting for it, I'll tell you how Kota happened.
Hmm.
Is that your question? Because no, is it?
I'm not even looking at my question.
Okay, cool. I'm still going to tell you how Kota happened. So I had already shot for this show called Hostel Days, which Raghav Subbu had directed. I had shot with him, and we had finished that, and it was still editing while Raghav Subbu got into this other project called Kota Factory. And because we had already worked and he had seen me as an actor, so he called me for this. I mean, he made the casting people call me for Kota's audition, and they told me it's a TVF project and Raghav Subbu is directing it. And I think I didn't ask anything else about the project, and I just went and auditioned because I knew it was Raghav and it was TVF. And I auditioned for it and I got selected. After a few days, I found out that I'm doing the show. I'm like, acha, okay, and now I'm doing this project. Now I need to know what the story is, what is going on. So then they were like, it's a show called Kota Factory. I'm like, okay, now what is Kota? What happens? Why? What are you talking about? Then they explained
What happens there?
What happens there? And I play a medical student in it, so I had absolutely no knowledge of anything to do with science, engineering, nothing. So I am just on that set, learning my lines, doing my whatever workshops that we've done, just shooting, and yeah. And once that show released, and yeah, also when we were shooting for it, Raghav and the producers still didn't know that if they're going to make the show in black and white. It was Raghav's idea to make it in black and white, but the producers weren't so convinced about it. So I remember shooting both black and white and colored. And when it released and it was black and white and it blew up, and that's when I realized, oh, okay, we've done something really mad.
Yeah.
And we are very, so it just hit us then कि oh, वो कहते ना तुक्का लग गया मतलब basically almost. तो फिर like still, like whenever Revti, me, Mayur and everybody we meet, and we are like, yaar, chal liya show. Like we really did. And we made it for YouTube.
Yeah.
We made that show. The first season was for YouTube, and then Netflix took it. So it's just magic. Like it was some sorcery that has happened with this show.
What are some fun behind the scenes memories?
So many. When I said that there are only few people in the industry that I'm friends with, I mean the Kota Factory cast.
Yeah.
I mean Mayur, I mean Alam and Ranjan and Revti. We have so much fun on set. We've shot for 3 seasons, and we shot all these 3 seasons in Kota. So we have a vacation in Kota every year. We are in the same hotel. We are eating, sleeping, waking up together, going to set together, coming back, having dinner. So we have spent so much time together. So there's so many fun. I mean, there was this one time where I had to ride a scooty and I couldn't do it. I still don't know how to ride a scooty, but Shivangi, my character, rides the scooty very well. So we had to, whatever, I was riding the scooty and I've rammed into an Innova. And Ranjan, who plays Meena in the show, was sitting behind me, and I remember I could see him from the rearview mirror because I was so stressed about him being. See, if I die, it's fine. Like if I injure myself and if I'm alone, it's okay. But I have someone else's responsibility on me, so I can't harm him.
Yeah.
So while I was ramming this bike, so there were lots of things happening at the same time. I'm ramming this bike into this car, and I see from the rearview mirror Ranjan just hopping off the scooty and being like this कि मैंने कुछ नहीं किया, and I'm laughing and I'm crying and I'm panicking at the same time. So yeah, this is one of those things, but lots of other things. It was a fun set to be on.
Yeah. And which is the other fun set that you're like, okay, you know, I have those kind of memories, or is this one truly special?
Kota has to be the first one, and there's Hostel Days also. Hostel Days also we've shot for 4 seasons, and that's a show that we've completed fully. Like that, season 4 was the final.
Right, it's done.
It's done. So that is actually the first and the only show that I have completed, like fully. Like, and we are not going back to that set. So we've had some great memories even there. We've shot again. It's an outdoor set. We shot in Pune. lovely cast. I've been touched with very lucky with my cast. I have all the shows that I've been a part of, like my cast, my co-actors are really nice to me.
Yeah.
So I've spent really good time with them, been friends with them. So yeah, I think Hostel Days has to be the other set that I've had a lot of fun at.
Yeah. And what about crazy fans? We love this crazy fan segment. Bhuvan Bham gave a extremely crazy incident that happened with him, and all of us like, oh my god. How has it been to be? So you liked attention, the attention that you got as a kid, right?
Yeah.
But obviously that translates when you grow older. Obviously, you know, your follower base. There was no Instagram back then. Now there's Instagram. What are some crazy fan memories? Any DMs that have been particularly entertaining for you?
You know, there are moments where I'm sitting, I'm having dinner, and a person comes up to me and just like wants a picture or just comes and appreciates my work and everything, and the person, whoever is with me on that table, they ask me, doesn't this bother you? Like you're in your space,
You're at dinner table.
you're at a dinner table, you're with your family or you're with your friend, and someone comes and just like has a conversation with you and wants a picture. Doesn't it bother you? And I said, no, it doesn't, because this is what we work for. When we are an actor, when we want to be, when we think of becoming an actor or whatever, this comes along with it. Now, we know that this is going to happen and we love it. There's one time where I was, a courier guy had come home, and it was 7 a.m. in the morning, and I was in my sleep. I opened the door and I was in my pajama and my hair was all like messed up, and I took that courier from him and he's like, ma'am, photo. I'm like, नहीं, इस स्थिति में तो मैं नहीं आपको दे सकती photo. But then I had to politely tell him that I can't take a picture with you right now, but next time whenever we bump into each other, and you will keep coming to my house to give me couriers. Yeah.
So there was this recent, speculation about you and Tarak, and does it get to you, or is it just fun and games? Like, okay, this is a part and parcel of it.
No, it doesn't get to me for sure. It's fun only, and it's fun when we are promoting a show and a show is coming and there are speculations around it. I think it's fun. I think both of us were having fun, and we were just like seeing all the reels and all the comments and just like having a laugh about it. But again, like I said, I think I'm okay with the speculations and the rumors, because when you decide to become an actor, you know that all of this is going to come along with it.
Yeah.
So I'm completely okay with all the speculation and rumors about me. As long as they're just speculations and rumors and people are not going and like spreading lies and spreading.
Yeah, of course.
So it's fine as long as they're just rumors.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what's the funniest rumor you've heard about yourself? Like, where you're like, where did this come from? It can be a dating rumor, it can be any other rumor.
Honestly, like I remember now only, like when Tarak and we were trending, and people were like, they made all sorts of theories that like they are not dating but they're in love, but they can't be together because they're working together and they have to do this, they have to do that. Ehsaas has apne aap hi, there were so many threads on Reddit ki Ehsaas has baggage from her last relationship. She's not in a good space. Tarak is not in a good space. Ehsaas doesn't date singers. It's a bakwas everybody was posting. So it's fun and it's cute when I read all these things. But if it gets out of hand, then it upsets me. But luckily, nothing has gotten out of hand.
Nothing at all?
Not that has come to my attention. Nothing.
So do you read Reddit threads?
I do.
You do?
I do.
Really?
I do. I'm a Reddit user. Like, not just for me. Honestly, there's not much about me on Reddit, to be honest. I'll be and I am as bummed as I am about it. People don't talk about me on Reddit as much, but I am there for, honestly, I'm not there for the rumors or the gossips or anything. There are such good, insightful communities that you can follow, and they're so real and they're so honest. Like, for example, if you want to read about a disease, there are going to be people who are actually going through that disease and come and put their opinion. So I feel like this is just like a very lame example that I've given, but I'm saying there are a lot of communities about science, about
There are many communities.
fashion,
Of course.
of sports, fashion, fashion, sports, music, and all these things where you get really honest opinions, and it's very insightful. So I am on Reddit for that.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
And then occasional here and there gossip.
Gossip.
देखने के लिए, हाँ.
And how's your relationship with social media?
It's okay only. It's not that bad.
It's not that.
हाँ, I don't take social media in a okay, wait. I don't take social media so seriously in a positive way. Meaning that if I get trolled or if there are like mean comments or anything, I don't let it get to me so much. My way of dealing with it is that I don't read only.
Yeah.
I don't go through my comments. If I see that there is a potential of a bad comment or a negative comment, I just delete it, and I either block that person or I just delete that comment. So I live in a world of ignorance, which I am happy with. Like, I will only want the positive and the good comments to come to me, or constructive criticism. I am open to constructive criticism and feedback. Which I also get through my mother, because my mother is actually the one who's always going through my comments just to read what's happening. So she will come and tell me about कि एक इंसान ने बोला कि तुम इस रील पे ये एक्सप्रेशन तुम्हारा सही नहीं था, या तुम्हारे बाल हमेशा ऐसे रहते, ऐसे मतलब कंस्ट्रक्टिव क्रिटिसिज्म आई एम वेरी मच ओपन टू. The reason I use social media is because as an actor, I feel like it's my profile. It's my biodata. Like, now we live in a world where even casting directors don't come and ask you for your pictures, or don't ask you to mail your photographs or the work experience that you've had. They just open your social media.
Of course.
So for me, I use it as a profile, as my bio data for producers and directors and casting directors, to see that, okay, if I put up a dance video, it's to show them that I can dance also. If I put a lip sync video, it's to show them that I can lip sync to a song. If it's a lip sync to a dialogue video, it's to show them that I can act. And I put my pictures up to show them how I'm looking right now. So for me, social media is very important. And then at the same time, the reels that I put up is also because I like making reels.
Yeah.
And I like those trending reels, and I love making reels with my friends and my mother. And उसके साथ थोड़ा सा brand से पैसे आ जाते हैं, तो वो भी
It's very
वो भी
necessary.
ज़रूरी है.
So
हाँ, तो
Viraj, our dear friend, was sitting here and he was like, we were talking about get ready with me reels, right? Because they bug him. So I was like,
why?
I don't know, he doesn't like them. Okay. So I was like, what's the price? What does a brand have to offer you so that you do a get ready with me reel? Then he really thought. He said, 25 lakh rupees. Done. I'll do again.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, brand deals are extremely important.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
honestly, as an actor, you can't earn money as an actor. I feel like if you're an actor, you have to do brand deals, you have to do endorsements to make money, because brands only have the money to give you.
Why do you say as an actor you don't make money? Not enough.
Not enough.
Okay.
I'm not saying I don't make money, but
Yeah.
not enough, because I will not do as many projects a year as I would do brands. Like, I will be able to do only one project or two projects a year
Yeah.
and make a certain amount of money, but I will be able to do 20 brands a year and make a bigger amount of money.
Of course. I mean,
So
when you look
that
at
is-
even
हाँ,
our actors, like, like any of the traditional actors that we've grown up watching, Shah Rukh Khan, Ranveer Singh, sports, Virat Kohli, MSD, their advertisement revenue is just, it's off the charts.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's the same at any stage or at any level,
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah. Even as an actor, it is the same, I think. Pretty much.
And how does that impact the decisions that you make, right? Like the financial aspect of it, because financial independence is so important, and you want to make decisions for passion, but you also want to make decisions for finances. Like, we were offline discussing an event that, in theory, looking back, if I would have to do it again, would I do it? And my answer would be no, I wouldn't do it. So how do you make those decisions?
I touch wood. I think I'm privileged and lucky enough that I get to choose my acting projects only with a creative lens. I don't have to financially think when I have to like say yes to an acting project कि oh I don't have work or I don't have money so I have to say yes to this or any work कि कुछ भी आया और कर लिया क्योंकि पैसे चाहिए. Touchwood वो कभी नहीं हुआ है. So I have always been in that space where I say no to a project only if it is not creatively aligned to what I want to do. And because I have touchwood, I keep doing touchwood, I was so scared because I have good backup from brands when it comes to money.
Yeah.
Because I do enough brands a year where I can make a certain amount of money. So even if I don't do a project a year, an acting project, it's fine. So I don't have to financially think of acting as my... So financially, acting is not my first source of money.
Correct.
It's the brands.
Yeah.
It's the brand endorsements and the work that I do.
But it's a flywheel, na? Loop hai. Because you're an actor and you do well and people like you, you enjoy the social media presence.
And only then the brands will come.
Only then will the brands come. So inevitably, it's a flywheel.
Correct. Because I'm also not an influencer. I'm not a content creator. I'm an actor who is... who has a certain amount of followers.
That's
and which is
same.
why.
So I'm in,
exactly.
yeah, like I don't know, like, you know, the way you get content, like right now you said you should make a blooper reel. It wouldn't occur to me naturally because my brain is so wired in like different compartments, like whether it's business or whether it's like podcasting or like, you know, we're at end of year, so my mind is in audit right now, taxation and balancing the P&L. So for me, it doesn't come naturally only. So, you know, I don't think I've ever been called a content creator in my life, like ever, because it's not the first thing, which is the same as you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Which is why, luckily, I have done enough projects every year, or at least one project to stay relevant as an actor for the brands to come and give me those brand deals. Luckily, and again, their luck plays a very big part.
Of course.
कि ऐसा touchwood कभी भी नहीं हुआ है that I have not done a project the entire year, an acting project. I have done something or the other. And when it comes to brands, I feel like then your team, your management and your team plays a very big part
in ensuring that it's the right project or you're being compensated well.
Even when it comes to brands, like what is the right brand? Does this sit well with her positioning as an actor, or also aligns with my morals? Like if there is something that I don't want to promote, and all those things, I have great help from my team. And luckily, Touchwood have a very good team. They look out for me very diligently and very personally. So yeah, मतलब I think वहाँ पे वो एक security है कि चलो यहाँ पे brands आ रहे हैं, और now I will only focus on my craft and only focus on
stuff that you want to do.
And be able to say no to projects that I don't want to do acting wise.
So do you feel the pressure to keep creating content that goes viral?
I wouldn't call it pressure, but yes, there is a liability, like a responsibility. I feel that I need to keep creating content because that is also how my followers will stay. Because I might not have a release that they are looking forward to in the next 6 months. Why will they stay for 6 months?
Like, what is the connection?
What is the connection? What is it that they will follow me for? So that is when I try to make content. And now the algorithm also has become this way, that if you don't make reels, you lose followers, something like that. Like,
I mean, it's just basically you have to keep creating content like an engine for it to be activated and remain activated.
Yeah, because also there's so many people now on Instagram now. Everybody is making content. So there is so much content to consume, so you will always get lost.
But do you enjoy that or do you not?
I enjoy watching the content.
You do?
Yeah. Okay. I love watching reels.
Okay.
I wake up and I watch reels and
Really?
sleep. No. I mean, I love watching reels. I love... but making reels also, the thing is, luckily I enjoy it also. Like I enjoy making reels on trending audios and, keeping up with the trending... keeping up with the trends, like whatever dance reels and everything. Abhi aajkal wo Vartaman is it's trending a lot. I love that song.
No, I am so...
Oh, you've not heard Vartaman Aankhon Ke Jo? No? Oh, it's a fun song, dude.
But please do perform.
It's actually the dance reel is of some other song, and they've And the song, this Vartaman song is a different song, but they've like
Combined it.
yeah,
Wow, I'm
and
gonna
it fits
check it
very
out.
well. So
So what is your take on the podcast explosion that has happened? Like, you drop a stone and somebody has started a podcast somewhere. Both of us included in this list.
Yeah.
It's not like we are out of this
Both
list.
of us
Yeah.
have.
Yeah.
Yeah. I, for some very random reason, have a podcast. But my podcast, I have not produced it. It's not my original podcast. It's somebody else has produced it. I'm just a
Host. Okay.
So I wouldn't call myself as
See,
a
for you,
podcast.
it's a project.
Yeah, it's a project. Yes,
Okay,
correct. But I think, okay, let me frame this very well because I might get into trouble for saying this. Listen to me. You have a podcast. Okay, you deserve it because you know how to do it. Okay. But if I say any random person buys a mic and a camera and they are having a conversation which is not making sense, it's not a podcast. Please don't make there are like kids who are having a conversation about something that happened in their school and it's not even making sense and it's not doing me any benefit. I am not taking anything from that conversation. It's not helping my life. I don't want to know what happened with you and that boy. Why are you making this a podcast? Sorry, I have like lots of rage issues, but you know what I mean, right?
Yeah.
Like, I love the fact there are podcasts, okay?
Yeah.
And there are such good ones. Yours, there is... I'm forgetting.
Nikhil Kamath's.
There's
Nikhil
Kamath's
Kamath's
podcast.
podcast.
There is the one that Naina and Sakshi do.
Yeah.
That is such a fun
Yeah.
piece. There is this one called Having Said That. That's also a fun Gen Z podcast.
Yeah.
So these make sense.
Yeah.
Okay, yours makes sense. Nikhil's makes sense. You get to learn so many things. You get to hear interesting people. You get to hear interesting stories that help you and your life. Those are the podcasts that should stay, and those are real podcasts. But when you have the money to buy a mic and a camera, that's not podcast for me. So I feel like, yes, but then again, that's not just limiting to podcasts. Everybody is now also then making... I'm going to get into bad trouble for
No,
this.
not at all.
But
I'll tell you what it is, right? I think ad spends have also moved a little bit towards podcasting.
Okay.
It has happened. Like, it's now considered a marketing tool, right? Because podcasts are being consumed in India at a very rapid rate. Like, when Instagram exploded and became Instagram with Reels, etc., I think it was in 2020, or, what Facebook was back in the day, now it's podcasts, which is what I'm sensing as a trend, which will also last the way trends last for a couple of years, and then there'll be something else. We don't know what that something else is yet, but that's how I foresee it, is that, like, people think that podcast is a way to add a stream of monetization, but that's not true until and unless you actually have that followership or have that stickiness. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, people are going to watch your reels because they like engaging with your content. That's 30 seconds. To hold a conversation, that's an hour, 1.5 hours. We've had people here who have sat for 3.5 hours just talking, right?
Yeah.
About whatever like, there are so many different topics that one can discuss. I think the two are very different, and I think it's just become a very confusing space on YouTube.
Correct. But also, what I love about podcasts is that you can just be anywhere in the world.
Yeah.
And put like your headphones and just like sit in a train or anywhere. Even if you're getting a spa, you can just listen to a podcast and you're taking so much in.
Yeah.
So it's just such a useful piece of useful platform for you and your health, your lifestyle, your mental health and everything. I think it's a great space to be in. I love podcasts. I listen to podcasts a lot.
Good.
But not the useless ones. So, yeah.
Okay. There's so many aspects to this. Acting, then there's content creation. You're very evidently good at different skill sets, like dance, or like you were saying, right? Like, that I can do these different things and I want to showcase it on my Instagram.
Yeah.
what do you do when you're not engaging in any of these activities that people identify you with?
I'm at home watching a film.
Really? Just
Yeah.
chilling.
And you know, watching a film for me is like homework. It's like working on my craft.
Of course.
So I love watching films. Like I love watching films in every language. I remember in lockdown I had discovered this app called Letterboxd. And it is basically like a journal for all. So you log all your films that you watched that day, and you can give reviews, you can follow other people and see what they have watched and what they feel about, read their reviews and stuff like that. It's like a community, so like a film watcher community. And I had discovered that, and I had also made like an agenda for 2020 to watch around 500 films.
Oh my God.
And I couldn't complete that, but I was close to like a 200 or a 250 sort of a thing. So what I'm trying to say is that I love watching films. Like I love consuming content, not just in like, and it's also not restricted to just films. It could also be mini series and web series and just TV shows in general. So yeah, I think I'm just doing that, and or either meeting my friends or just chilling. I am very boring like that.
It's good. It's
I
good to be
don't
boring.
do anything else, or I'm working out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you like working out?
I love working out.
Okay.
So I'm working out, I'm watching a film, I'm chilling with my friends or my mom.
What's the best thing you've seen, cinema-wise? Like whether it's a film or a web series. What's your like, oh my God, that's...
Wow, what
What
a
a
question you asked me. I have to answer this question in... You want me to just say one?
Yeah.
I can give you top 5.
Okay, fine.
Thank you. You made my life
I
easy.
love how I was a judge. Like I had the power to say okay or not. As if I would ever say, if he was saying 5, I would be like, okay, cool.
So there is this film called Taste of Cherry by Abbas Kiarostami.
I haven't watched it.
It's okay, but
Okay.
you must.
Okay, cool.
It's a beautiful film. It's a film that changes your entire perspective of life. Then it has to be a film called Close Up by Abbas Kiarostami also. Then there is a film called Yi Yi, which is YI, which is its English translation is a 1 and a 2. It's by Edward Yang. It's a Taiwanese film.
Wow.
And then there's another film called One Cut of the Dead, which is a fun film. It's a Japanese film. बस कितना 4 हो गए ना? 4 हो गए, एक और. And The Truman Show.
Wow.
It's I'm forgetting the director's name. I'm an idiot. But it has Jim Carrey in it.
Okay.
Yeah, so watch that film. That's also a great one.
This is the first time I've heard a list where I'm just like, I pretty much haven't watched any.
It's हाँ भाई मतलब these now again like this entire life shift happened during lockdown only when I had that time and that opportunity to watch these many films and to discover these many films. Honestly, like I would watch only Hindi cinema or at max
Yeah.
the West, but during lockdown I've realized that there so one by one I discovered different language films and different directors.
Yeah.
Like
I
from all
got
around the
into
world.
Korean films. Like I saw Parasite and I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
What is this? Right.
In
It's
fact,
so-
Parasite was also the film that came right before COVID.
Yeah.
So it was an introduction for us also to
Or
Korean
like crash
cinema.
landing on you.
Oh yeah, exactly.
K-drama, of
So,
course.
हाँ.
Yeah.
So that is how I feel like I think probably through Parasite only I think I got into the whole different language, other country cinema.
Okay. So now we have a bit of a rapid fire for you. Let's do it.
Do I get a hamper? I
wow,
don't.
Rashi.
It's fine.
Rashi.
It's fine.
Okay, we will send you one.
Okay, ठीक है,
Okay,
great. I'm greedy. Shameless.
You're like, yeah. Okay. One Bollywood movie you'd love to remake with you in the lead.
Jab We Met.
Yeah.
If I say it, somebody will steal this. I have a full sequel story
Really?
for Jab We Met.
Don't say it.
I won't say
Yeah,
it because
yeah.
somebody will make it and not cast me.
No, okay.
But I'm getting to work with Imtiaz Ali now, so
Yeah.
I might just pitch it to him
Yeah.
the next time I see him. Yeah.
One creator you absolutely love and why?
Okay. I love 3 people. One is Sharanya.
Okay.
Have you heard of her? She's a content creator and she
Okay.
makes beautiful content. It's so funny, it's so relatable. And the other one is Dharna.
Okay.
Yeah, I love Dharna.
Huh.
She's also fantastic. She plays different characters and I don't know how she does it, and I don't know how she has the details and she picks up on the smallest, the nuances of like whoever she's playing. It's
Yeah.
fantastic. And then there's Karishma, RJ Karishma. I think she's also
How mean, you can say
fantastic.
Karishma Mehta also.
Oh, Karishma Mehta, but you're not a content
No,
creator.
still.
Now we're podcast.
Okay, fine. Worst excuse you've given to get out of a shoot?
I have never given an excuse.
Zero.
To get, nah.
Okay.
Like I said, I love shoot. I will, if I have to get out of it for whatever reasons professionally, I will be very honest about it and make
Okay.
it happen.
If not an actor or content or anything to do with what you're currently doing, what would you be?
A filmmaker. I would be a director, and I would still try to like become a director at some point in life.
Huh.
But yeah, I think something related to my industry only, the industry that I am in currently. A director maybe.
Okay. What's your guilty pleasure?
It was watching Big Boss for the longest time.
Really?
Yeah. But that has changed since the last couple of seasons. Now it's watching Gunda. Have you watched this film called Gunda?
No.
Oh, dude, Karishma, you have to watch
What
Gunda.
is I'm scared.
Has anyone watched Gunda here?
Rashi? Okay.
It's a hilarious film. I'm not going to tell you anything about it.
I'll just
because
watch
I
it.
don't want to give you any idea about it.
Okay, sure,
So
I'll
that when
watch
you watch that film, you'll know what
Okay,
I'm talking
fine,
about.
I'll
So
watch it.
watching Gunda and Welcome. Welcome is not a guilty
Welcome
pleasure.
is so, yeah.
Welcome is a masterpiece.
It is.
I think it's a master class to comedy and
Yeah.
and
And you can watch
performances.
it like hundreds of times and still be laughing.
Yeah.
It's insane.
It's insane. And you know, I also my friends love watching Welcome with me because I know all the dialogues and I enjoy Welcome and how. Like I have so much fun watching that film.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah.
Okay. So now we're down to the last question. And I cannot leave you because this is my like signature stereotypical question that I love asking everybody is, what do you think about love? And what do you look for in a partner? And we'll end on that note.
Oh. What I look in for
What I look for.
हाँ इंग्लिश ही भूल गई हूँ मैं इस पॉडकास्ट पे आके
We'll make many blooper reels. See, I got your idea
I
now.
think go for it. You'll have lots of blooper reels. But yeah, what I look for in a partner is no, wait, I'll do that again. What I look for in a partner is that person needs to be very understanding because of the nature of my work. I will not be able to give too much time. I will not be able to give so much attention. I will be distracted. I will have 10 things on my plate. Just being understanding is the most important thing to me. Being kind is the most important thing to me. I think that is the greenest flag there is. Being kind and being understanding. And for me, love is just being comfortable with whomever you are. What am I saying? I'm not making any sense today. For me,
You're
love
just giving
is...
me more content for
Yeah,
the
for your
blooper.
blooper. So for me, love is being comfortable with whoever you're with.
Yeah. Got it.
English आती है मुझे. So you can be yourself and you don't have to think twice before saying anything, or you leave all your inhibitions behind and you're just yourself, and the person accepts you for who you are. Gosh, now it has happened. Now
Yeah.
it's like that.
Now it's in your head.
Yeah.
I've gotten the Inception.
Correct. Yeah, the person accepts you for who you are, and just I think that is, yeah, love for me.
And have you ever been? Have you ever?
Contagious.
And have you ever found a love like that
Yes, I have once
in the
life.
present tense?
Let's leave the people hanging.
So it's the end. I cannot ask you any further questions. You can just say yes or no.
In present, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
कितनी खुश हो गई? No, मतलब wait, no. Wait, no. एक second. That person exists. He's not dead. Is what I mean. Is he with me? Well, I don't know. No.
Okay.
Yeah. So shit. Hey, smart you are, huh, Karishma? I know why you do this now. I know why you're good at it.
I was like, oh, she said yes. Okay, done. Let's cut. Yeah.
Please no. Wait,
No,
one
no.
second. That person. No, I'm.
Your friends are waiting, Esas.
No. Yeah. No, but I've. That person is very much in my life. If
Okay.
that makes sense.
Yeah.
So yeah. So I'm happy that whatever relationship that is, either it's friendship or whatever, that person, there is one person who understands me and who's there for me, and just I can be myself in front of that person, whatever. I could be my mother also, guys.
Okay. It's been so lovely. I genuinely didn't feel like this was a podcast. It was just a coffee
Yeah.
chat. And it was so fun. And I hope you enjoyed it. And I'm rooting for you and everything that you're setting out to do. And you're truly you have great energy. So it's not a surprise that you're where you are.
Oh, thank you so much. That's very, very sweet. But I think I had a great time too. Like, I think I said this off camera. This felt like a therapy session.
Yeah.
Because I've not spoken about my life and what's going on with me in a very long time. And it was just, and you make the other person feel that comfortable. I think you set that environment for the person to be as honest as possible. So it was lovely. And you are very good at what you do. And I can see that.
Thank you. Thank you. And we will do this again.
Yes, hopefully.
Okay.
Very soon.
Okay. Done.
Cut!